We're talking about those prepaid debit cards being given to certain migrant families starting on Monday in New York City. Kurt, I'm so sorry I had to cut you off there. Let me just pick up where we left off. Do you not see that as incentivizing migrant families to head to New York?
No, because I don't think that they're heading to New York from the southern border. I think they're being relocated there after they cross over into our country, into the southern states by states like Texas. So I don't see it as an incentive. And again, this project is such a small pilot program to begin with that this is not something that people are going to be crossing the border to get $350 debit cards. That's not why they're coming here in the first place. Do I think that it's a solution to the problem? No, I don't. It's not a solution. There are no solutions right now. That's the broader problem.
Yeah. Denise, Mayor Adams says this is a more cost-efficient way to help migrants, as a lot of food sent to migrants at those hotels is often thrown out. But if the federal government won't back them up, how far should their helping hand go? And what do you think about these debit cards?
Cities are under horrific strain under President Biden's lack of border enforcement. And so I'm sure that Mayor Adams is doing everything he can to take care of his city. Going back to what Kurt said earlier, you won't be surprised that we're going to disagree on this. Most countries that some of the migrants are coming from, they make less than $1,000 a month. And with $1,300 a month in cards that are being given really as a blank check, all they have to do is sign an affidavit saying they're only going to use it for groceries. There's really no enforcement mechanism to ensure that they do. And so while we don't want anyone to starve on this side of our border ever, and I understand the pickle that Mayor Adams is in thanks to President Biden and his poor immigration laws and lack of enforcement, we still have to deal with the reality, which is that anyone who's going to make more doing nothing, just coming over the border illegally, is going to be telling all their friends and family, heck, I might even move to New York City to come and get $1,300 a month for groceries. And the reason is Americans are feeling the pain point of inflation at the grocery store more than anywhere else. 72% of Americans are saying that the 21% increase in prices at the grocery store are the reason that they're so angry about this economy. And so the optics are horrific, which means the politics are bad. And so, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, you brought up a good point. I was thinking myself, I think a lot of Americans would move to New York City if they thought their food and their baby supplies were paid for. But you are talking about innocent children here with some of these families, too. Kurt, a recent report found that 23% of New York City residents in 2022 were unable to afford their housing and their food. So should that crisis be tackled first? Should they be given debit cards before benefits are extended to people who aren't here legally?
Well, I think that sometimes these things get set up as kind of a false choice. First of all, anybody who says they want to move to New York to get a $350 debit card, they will be shocked at the price of the rent in New York before they make that calculation.
Unless they're squatting, Kurt.
Unless they're squatting, right? There's a squatting epidemic, right? But listen, at the end of the day, though, listen, we're talking about a very small amount of people here. This is a pilot program. It's not like they're handing these out to 1 million people overnight or anything like that. So I think that we need to just keep that in context of, hey, this is a small project. We'll see where it goes. We'll see how they track it, if they're able to have accountability. I'm skeptical that they will, frankly, just as Denise pointed out. But no one is not getting something because these people are. I think that's not how budgets work. That's not how the financial budgets of New York City or the federal government work. It's not, well, because we gave this person that, you over here don't get that. That is not how it works.
Denise, I'll let you wrap it up. Just a few seconds left, and then I have to cut it short today because of breaking news.
Well, it's got to come from somewhere. And Kurt, you and I have both worked in Washington, D.C. and back in San Diego in politics. And we know that the pie is only so big and it has to come from tax-paying Americans. And so regardless of whether it's a direct hit on one, group of people, generally what happens when we have shrinking resources is that they affect the poorest people the most. And so Cardi B mentioned this last fall when she went after Mayor Adams when the migrant surge came in. She said, I'm tired of seeing my neighbors, my friends back in the Bronx take a hit because we've got migrants coming in that aren't even Americans. And 50 Cent, too, said, don't take it out of my taxes. I'm not sure where else they're going to get this money. It doesn't fall from the sky. Yeah. I
sympathize with those multimillionaires speaking out.
And there's a matter of principle. And eventual plans to expand this debit card program. We're going to follow it closely. Kurt, Denise, thank you for sticking around with me while we took those remarks from the governor of Maryland. Always appreciate having both of you. Thanks.
Thank
Have
you.
a great morning.